consistency, to build a little bit of community, and hopefully, together with that combination, make a whole bunch of progress in our side splits. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's get started. We are doing hip cars. We're getting warmed up. And hip cars will go a bit like this. We're going to start with lifting our knee as high as possible. We're going to open up that hip as wide as possible. Keep the knee high. We're going to rotate that leg so the knee is pointing forward and the ankle is back. I'm going to spin around so you can see what that looks like from the side. Ankle is horizontal in line with the knee. Now we're going to rotate a little bit more. Rotate. Bring that ankle up. And then bring the leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Really pull that leg behind you. Try to stand up pretty straight. Feel the tension here as your hip flexors get stretched out. And that is one very slow, long rep. Usually we do them a little bit faster. We're going to do 10 of these on the left side. We're going to do 10 of these on the right side. And then we're going to reverse the whole thing. Let's do it. High knee. Open up. Rotate. Ankle up, down and back. High knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. That's 2. 3, open, ankle, down and back. 4, open, ankle, down and back. 5, ankle, up, down and back. Hip cars are all about trying to hit your maximum range of motion using your own muscles. And we're doing both mobility and strengthening at the same time. I believe this is number 8. 9, open, ankle up, down and back. 10, open up, ankle up, down and back. That is 10 hip cars for the left leg going forward. Now we're going to switch over and do the right leg. Let's do it. If you haven't noticed, I'm putting my hands on the desk for a little bit of support and balance, because sometimes I'm really trying to bring my leg as high as possible, and sometimes my hips are going all over the place. So to help you balance, you can put your hands down. If you want to really test the ability of your standing leg, you can also skip it. If you spread your toes, take a big old stance, lock those calves in, you can also do it that way. Cool? All right. I think my left leg is my worst leg, but let's try it. High knee. Open up. Ankle up. Down and back. Oh, just kicked the desk. Oops. Okay. High knee. Open up. Ankle up. Down and back. High knee. Open up. Ankle up. Down and back. This balancing makes it a little bit more challenging and gets a little bit of extra bonus out of this exercise. But remember, our goal here is to work on maximizing our hip mobility. So if balance is a struggle for you, sure, practice, take your time and do that. But you want to make this move count. So use a little bit of hand support, use a little bit of balance support, and let's finish up this side. I have absolutely no idea how many we've done, but this feels like an 8. 9 and 10. Open, ankle up, down and back. That is hip cars. Going forward, left and right. This time we did a little bit of balancing work on that left leg. And now we're gonna go in reverse. What about reverse is different? Obviously, going in reverse is the opposite order, but we tweak one thing about the ankle. We're gonna start by bringing the leg back, flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Feel that stretch in the hip flexor. Excuse me, give me a second. That's weird. Okay, from here, I'm gonna bring the leg up. I'm gonna be cool martial artists. We can go whoosh and give it a nice little kick. And we're gonna get horizontal first. Then we're gonna rotate that ankle up, just like before. Then we're gonna do the opposite. We're gonna rotate all the way down. So ankle up, ankle down, and then we're gonna bring the knee forward. All right. We got 10 of those. That side, I'm gonna call out all of the positions we gotta be in, so it won't be as confusing. And let's go. Down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Lift to the side, rotate the ankle up. Rotate the ankle all the way down, bring that knee up, and finish by bringing the knee to the front. That's 1. side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 2, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 3, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 4, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 5, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 6, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 7, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 8, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 9, last one, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 10. Those are hip cars. On the left side, going in reverse. We got one last side, go in reverse, and then we'll be done with hip cars. And that would be the beginning of our warm-up. Okay. Final side, let's go. Back, flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, feel the hip flexor, lift directly to the side, like a martial arts, a little kick. From here, your knees and ankle are horizontal. We're gonna rotate, lift the ankle up, 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 up. Then we're gonna do the opposite, bring all the way down. Then we're gonna bring it to the front. Try to keep your knees high when they're in this position. Keep on contracting them, lift, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that is 1, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 2, maybe 3. I have already lost count, that's crazy. Ankle down, knee, 4, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 5, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 6, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 7, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 8, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 9. I'm getting tired, I'm gonna use the table for balance. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, and that is 10. Those are the hip cars. This is the first warm-up exercise in our series. We have used our muscles to try and get maximum range of motion out of our hips, trying to strengthen our leg muscles, trying to strengthen our hip muscles, and hopefully your hips are feeling a little bit smoother, feeling a little bit better now that we've worked on hip mobility. If you want to do a little awkward dance where you just throw your legs around, go ahead, give it a try, see if it feels smoother. That is our first warm-up exercise. We're gonna move on to warm-up exercise number 2. It's a little bit more chill, it's a little bit more fun, it's a little bit more relaxing. And it looks a little bit like this. We're gonna get into this L shape. We're gonna fold down. We're gonna try and bring the belly button down to the ground. And that's it. If it looks like we're just trying to touch our toes, that's exactly what we're doing. We're just trying to touch our toes. The actual second warm-up exercise is called the elephant walk. And we'll start doing the walk in a second, but first, this is the warm-up. We're just chilling. We're letting our body relax into position because we already got sweaty and got our heart pumping from the hip cars. And for now, for the moment, we're just chilling. Chilling, feeling the hamstrings getting tighter, trying to bring the belly button down towards the ground, and breathe. Okay. Now that we've hung out here for a little bit and you've tried to bring your belly button down towards the ground, we're going to add a little bit of knee bending, and that is the actual elephant walk. We're going to bend one knee, we're going to straighten out the other leg, and we're going to switch. Bend one knee, straighten out the other leg. You can take different widths in your stance to experiment with how that feels and how that pulls on your hamstrings. But that's it. Bring the belly button down, bend one knee, straighten the other. Switch it up, bend the other knee, straighten the leg that's not bent, and keep going. You should feel a whole bunch of tingly sensations in your hamstrings. You might feel it going up into just under your butt because that is where your hamstrings attach to your hips. You might feel a little bit of tingliness in your calves, in your toes. That might be called nerve flossing if you're going to do some research on why your toes are tingly. And those are all relatively normal and okay. So Keep on doing the little dance of elephant walks. I guess do the little walk, not the dance, the walk. And keep on bringing that belly button down. It's all about the belly button. Down, down, down. Once you've done a bit of this, you might feel that your head is getting a little bit heavy because you've been upside down for so long. If that's the case, come on up, back into standing, and shake out the legs. If your legs are tingly, shake it out. Let the muscles relax. Let the nerves relax, and we will get right back into that same exact position. So don't get too excited. We're going to move on into some thoracic rotations. We're going to keep our legs roughly hips width apart. We're going to fold forward, bring the belly button down. We're going to bend one knee. This time it's my left knee. My right leg is straight. I'm going to reach across with my left hand, grab that right ankle on the straight right leg, and I'm going to use it to help rotate. Our next move is thoracic rotation. We are rotating our chest to the right, extending our right arm into the air behind us. Our eyes are looking at that hand behind us, so the whole entire upper back is rotating. Take this nice and slow. Nothing about this is explosive or intense. I talk fast. That does not mean you have to move fast. We are reaching, rotating, and in case there's any confusion, straight leg, arm goes across to the straight leg. Rotate the direction that your leg is straight with your chest and extend that arm to and reach. I think this is 4. We're only going for 5. So 1 more. And that is 5. I hope your back is feeling a little looser. Maybe your neck is feeling a little looser. Maybe your shoulders and shoulder blades are a little bit more tired than you were expecting from just reaching behind you. All those things are good. Just getting a little bit of movement into the upper body. Help those muscles. Also sweat it out a little bit. And with that, we have finished 2 of our 3 warm-up exercises. We have 1 more warm-up exercise. But before we jump into that, I'm going to come over to the chat and I'm going to remind you that we do 45 minutes of live side split stretching every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community. I try to bring good vibes into the internet, and I hope you bring good vibes into the chat so that we can have fun, hang out, and make the suffering on the floor doing side splits together a little bit more fun. My goal is hopefully the combination of consistency, combination of community, combination of good vibes makes it a lot easier for us all to make a whole bunch of progress in our side split goals. And if you only care about a little bit of hip mobility, that's great too, because side splits are just super extreme hip mobility and they don't come overnight. They come with hip mobility first. Cool? So that's what we do. That's what we're up to. Hit subscribe, hit follow, keep coming back. We're here every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, I'm going to finally take a sip of water. I'm going to check the chat real quick because I feel like lots of messages have been coming in and I have not seen one at all. On YouTube, Saidas Imukaktar says, I'm literally in bed right now. It's really early here. And I got a compliment. You're so muscular, bro. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. If you're just waking up and this doesn't work out for you, that's okay. That's totally okay. But it looks like as we progress down the chat, you're waking up and you're asking me to wait. Ooh, whoops. My bad. See, this is what happens when I don't read the chat in time. Saidez says, I'm going to come tomorrow for sure. Absolutely. I hope you don't feel too bad. You can still come in and hang out for the rest of the warm-up and do the exercises and just be a little bit more gentle with your exercises. In general, I do enough warm-up and enough pre-stretching of everything that you don't have to go that intense for any of them and still be able to get right into the side splits at the end. But I do recommend that you do everything because I don't know what your situation is, and I try to be very thorough about warm-up and preparing the body before we get into crazier positions like the side splits. Anyways, if you're not still here, I'll see you tomorrow. Cool. All right. I'm going to get over to TikTok, and Sid Deep Toe in the last message says, definitely the motivation I needed to stretch. Thanks. Absolutely. That is what I am here for. Mark asks, do you have any classes for beginners whom are out of shape and have not worked out in 16 years? Yes, absolutely. I have a lot of shorts on YouTube Shorts, and generally those are 2 to 3 to maybe 5 minutes worth of exercise in little bursts. The form I'm going to demonstrate in those is a little bit more advanced, and that will be hard to follow exactly, but those will be generally the best exercises to make sure your hips, your knees, and your hips and your knees are working well. And if you take it with whatever mobility you do have, that will be a great start to get you started. And most of those videos are basically 2 minutes because I want you to be able to incorporate them into your day. I'm not trying to make you go do 60 minutes of workout at the gym and drive half an hour back and forth and spend a third of your morning doing those things. Some of them are filmed in the 2 minutes that you're waiting for coffee to boil or ramen to be made. So go ahead and check those out and start gentle, because that's what your body probably needs right now. Cool. Ab975 on YouTube says, this is great for me after sitting at the desk all day. Lovely. Amazing. I'm glad you guys found me, and I'm glad you're here. Every time I attempt these stretches, it reminds me how much it's needed. Caitlin, that is awesome. That's literally what the show is about. It's about coming in, going, I'll give it a try, see what happens. And then going, oh, okay, cool, this is awesome. I'm going to stay. Well, that's my intention. That's how I think the show is designed. So with that, let's get on into our third warm-up exercise. Our final warm-up exercise is probably the most intense cardio portion of the whole entire thing. And some of the moves, or the move, is going to be challenging. But I'm going to try and break it down. And you can do whatever you can do, and it will be fine. All right? We're going to do some Cossack switches. That is the third warm-up exercise. Cossack switches look a little bit like this. We are going to drop down to one side, and then we're going to try and scoot our butts over to the other side, and then go back and forth. I'm going to do 10 rounds of that. It might sound scary, it might sound hard, so let's break it down. From here, as we drop down, I don't really care about anything other than keeping your knees over your toes. I don't want your knees to buckle in like this or like that. Point your knees and the toes in the same direction, and your knees can be pointed anywhere. You can point it right in front of your chest. You can have that hip opened up really far and open that way, whatever is comfortable for you. Everybody's a little bit different, especially if this is your first time in this position. So this might look a little crazy with the leg extended, but if you're more comfortable, you can get into sort of this deep, small ball position like so. Put your hands down and then extend that leg. This is not a perfect position. We're just getting compact and we're stretching it out real quick before we get into the actual position. And what I want you to do is, I want to have you rest your hamstrings on top of your calves. If your ankles come up, that is absolutely okay. If you want your ankles to come down, you can just bring your knees further back. If you want to stay more balanced, you probably want your knees a little bit more forward, and you're going to be on your toesies. And that is absolutely okay, because what we're trying to practice is getting squished down. If anything, you're still feeling the Achilles tendon stretch, so it is okay. When you are here in this position, I'm going to talk about other things. So just stay here for a little bit, work on that stretch, and get small, turn into a little ball. From here, we're going to try our best to extend this leg out. If you're higher up, it's going to be more tiring on your knees. If you can, rest your hamstring on your calves. It's not going to have as much pressure on your quads as your knees, but your Achilles tendon, your heel, will be struggling just a little bit. If you can hold on to that and you can hang out, great. Whew. From here, back to this leg. The toes are up, the knees are pointing up, and the heels are down. This is called external leg rotation. It's because if we're standing neutrally, we rotate the leg out to the outside of the body, external rotation, and we came down into a squatted position. It looked like that, external leg rotation. What's important about this position, and why I'm talking about it so much and how to get into it, is because we need this 100% for the side splits. And if there's anything you take away from this whole entire thing, the most common mistake people make in the side splits is that they're not pointing their toes up when their body is pointed up. So your toes should point in the direction of your face. All right, so toes up, head is up. If my head is over here, then my toes can also go that way. Cool? Whew. Now that we've hung out here for a little bit, let's scoot our butts over to the other side. You might still be in this position, and if you are, then you don't have to scoot. But I do want you to experiment with having the leg out if this is your first time on the show and you have not done this before. Oh, once you're on this side, same thing. We're trying to squish down on this side, getting these muscles prepped and relaxed and chilling in that squished position. And on this side, the heels are down, the toes are up, and the knees are up. Boom. Now, we're going to talk about actually moving from side to side. If you are just starting out, then I want you to know a whole bunch of things, and you don't have to get them right 100% of the time because you're just starting out, and it's going to be hard to remember everything. But I'm going to say a lot of things, and you pick whichever ones you think is doable, and then you start doing it. Cool? From here, I want you to try your best to have both heels down. And I want you to try your best to get to that deepest squish down position that we've been practicing that you can get where your heels stay down. You might need to stick your arms out in front of you to help with balance, and that is absolutely a-okay. Once you are here, you can put your hands down to help bring your hips over to the other side. Your hands reduce the need for strength and reduce the need for balance. And when you get to the other side, I want you to try your best to, once again, squish down. Keep your heels down on both sides. Boom. That's the easy version. If you're feeling like you're ready for a little bit more of a challenge, you can keep leaning really far forward, come over to the side and back. If you're feeling these are super easy for you, then you can stand up very straight, stick your arms out in front of you, really try to sink deep into that stretch, and go from side to side. If these are starting to impact your knees, you're starting to feel a little uncomfortable, you can come up to a half squat, come across, and then sink into the stretch position at the bottom. Again, half squat and come across to the side. If that is still not working out for your knees, you can try coming into a full squat and then slowly coming down and sinking as low as you can get. It will be really tiring for your quads to do the squat version, but if it takes pressure off your knees, maybe it's worth it. Again, you can put your hands down and do the easy version. Cool? All right, we're doing 10 of these. I'm pretty sure I just did like 6, but I'll do 10 more with you. Pick a variation you want to experiment with. Pick a variation you want to try, and let's go. Both heels down. Come over to the other side, however you choose. Try to sink down, squish. Heels down, heels down. Back. Heels down. That's 1 and 2. I'm going to keep switching up my form so it's easier for you to be reminded of different things that we're doing. I think this is 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5, 9. Remember, we're trying to pause for just a second on either side, trying to really squish down, work on that mobility. 9.5 is the last half rep, and that's 10. Oh, okay, come on up out of that. I know it was intense. It was a lot, but it'll get easier as you get more comfortable and more familiar with the exercise. Shake out those legs. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Relax. And we're done with our warm-up. If you're thinking, oh my God, this is just the warm-up, that was crazy, then don't worry, because that warm-up is there just to make sure our whole body is ready to go, our hips are moving well, and our muscles are able to contract and kind of relax so that when we get into the stretches, your body's ready to be stretched. Cool? All right. Whew. The first stretch that we're going to get into is the hamstring stretch. I recommend you go grab something to pad a knee. It could just be a yoga mat you fold up a couple of times. Could be towels that need to be in the laundry and can be rolled up, put under your knee for one last job before they go get washed. It can be a cushion, a dog bed. Could be anything with just a little bit of foam. Flip-flops, shoes you don't care about anymore. anything at all. We just need a little bit of padding because we're going to drop down onto one knee. I'm going to fold forward like so. Cool? Whew. In the meantime, I'm going to grab a sip of water and I'm going to check the chat. Hey, that's so nice. Saidaz on YouTube says, actually a great YouTuber who gives fun content and not brain rot. Thank you. I try my best. Okay. I am scrolling through the chat real quick to see if anything is happening. Ooh, Sparky Boom Man. I love Avatar as well. Says, ow, it's hurting my heels. LOL. That actually is totally normal. Makes a lot of sense. I've been doing these for a long time, so I forget that heels kind of hurt occasionally. Because I have big nasty calluses. I'm not going to show you them, but they're actually not visible at all. They're totally skin colored. But when you spend a lot of time on your heels, especially right at the very beginning, it's going to be very uncomfortable. And the higher the angle is that your heels are hitting the ground, the more sharply they're going to be stabbing into the little bone that is in your heel, and that's why you'll feel more pressure. What's funny is the more deep into the stretch you get, the less pain you feel, because the pointy part of the bone is no longer hitting the same spot, and it changes. So what I recommend, if you have a little bit of a yoga mat or something with just a little bit of foam, that helps a lot. If you have some sneakers or shoes you're willing to put on, that helps. If you have something maybe not as intense as a yoga block, technically you can do something crazy like this, but I do not recommend that because you're not going to be perfectly stable every time, and that doesn't give you a lot of room to adjust without falling off something. So avoid something that is loose, that is padded, and try to find something that's a little bit more stable. Cool? All right. That's enough. Let's get into the hamstring stretch. Whew. Actually, wait, before we get into the hamstring stretch, we're doing 45 minutes of live side split stretch. And if you just came in and saw me talking about balancing on yoga blocks and think this is a crazy weird live, then let me tell you what the rest of it is about. We do 45 minutes of live side split stretching every single day to practice consistency, to build a little community, and hopefully to make a whole bunch of progress in our side split goals. We're all about practicing consistency, and I try to be very welcoming to anybody who is popping in for the first time. So I explain a lot. And what that means is, if you're a beginner, you can pop right in, start following along. But it also means if you're not a beginner, you're a regular, you can do whatever you want. I'm just kidding. You can't do whatever you want. But you can relax in between because you know I'm about to talk. You can catch up. If you're falling behind, you can focus on things because I rushed through them, maybe. And you want to really focus on part of your hip mobility. And that's not something I made time for. You got plenty of time to focus on that stuff. Cool? All right. Hamstring stretch. Let's go. We are dropping down to our knees, pointing our hips, our shoulders forward, and we're sticking the leg. We want to stretch out right in front. Cool? From here, we're bringing the belly button, so right here, down towards the thighs. That's it. That's the whole entire stretch. We don't care what is happening with your shoulders and your head in that we don't want you to turn into a ball. So I guess we do care what's happening with your shoulders and your head. We don't want you to turn into a ball. It's all about the belly button coming down. And I want you to keep that back relatively straight throughout, okay? Because when you spend a lot of time going like this and trying to squish down, it's a lot of pressure on your vertebrae that you don't need. So try to keep that back relatively neutral. Bring the belly button down and let's go. You're already in this position, then you're feeling a hamstring stretch right here, and it's already a little bit uncomfortable. We're gonna make it more intense by taking an inhale and then slowly exhaling and trying to fold a little bit deeper into the stretch. Cool? Inhale. Slow exhale and fold. If you're feeling a little bit of pressure in your knees and it's starting to feel uncomfortable, then I want you to give it a slight bend. That slight bend will take the pressure off of your knees, but it'll also reduce the intensity of the hamstring stretch. If you bend your knee, I want you to really try to bring your chest all the way down to that leg with the back flat. And then I want you to slowly straighten out the leg. If you can't bring your chest all the way down to your knee anyways, work on that first. But again, back is straight. And then once you're as compact as you can from this angle, you can start straightening out your leg. Cool? Oh man, that hurt. That was intense. Okay, one more inhale, exhale, and we are done. Inhale. Exhale and fold. And when I said done, I meant we're going to start our 30 seconds of stretching. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, okay. Come out of that stretch. If your hamstrings are tired, that makes sense. Switch over to the other side, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to go at a slightly faster pace because I'll be explaining less, but don't worry, the 30 seconds of stretch will still be there. Once again, hips forward, shoulders forward, leg forward, fold the belly button down to the thigh. Your hamstrings are tightening up. It is unhappy with you. We're going to take a big inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and fold. And my left hamstring is giving me a little bit of trouble today, so I'm going to take it a little less intense, but please go as hard as you'd like. Inhale, exhale one more time. Inhale, exhale, and fold. And that's it. I'm going 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. We do this version of the stretch because I like that you have both hands to give yourself a little bit of support, a little bit of balance, and you stay low to the ground so there is no falling going on. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is the hamstring stretch. We are done with that stretch. We don't need the cushion anymore, so you can toss it away. Try not to hit anything or knock over any mugs of water, because that would be bad. And with that, we're ready to move on into stretch number 2. Stretch number 2 is the butterfly stretch, and I recommend you do it up against a wall. I'm going to do it against this one so that you can see what I'm doing. Bring your hips, your shoulder, your head up against the wall. Feel that nice posture for a moment. Bring your feet together, pull them in, and you're going to be in this position to start. You might notice your knees are quite high, and that is okay. That is what we're working on. The butterfly stretch is all about stretching out the muscles in the groin right here. And so to work on those, you want to bring your knees down into the ground. That's it. We're just focusing on bringing the knees down to the ground. I always want you to strengthen your muscles so you have control over every position that we're training. And the way to control and strengthen this group of muscles is focusing on contracting the outer thighs and the glutes. All right? If this is your first time joining in and you have no idea what muscles I'm talking about, that's okay. Just try your best. And if it doesn't work out, you'll figure it out tomorrow. Cool? All right. Let's go. Once you've tried to bring your knees down into the ground, and you should be able to see that your knees are moving a little bit, moving in and out, or I guess in towards your face and out towards the ground. Keep on contracting the muscles that you think are bringing your knees closer to the ground. And then we're going to do the hard part, the intense part. We're going to take our hands, we're going to apply pressure down onto those legs. When you do that, you're going to feel pressure in your shoulders, in the back of your head from the wall. And that is basically the wall, making sure that you don't fall backwards and you put all your force into your legs. Thank you, wall. All right, that's it. That's the whole thing. Let's go. 30 seconds. Keep on trying to bring the knees down towards the ground. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, relax the hips. Let the hands go. And you might find, if you've been contracting your muscles for quite a little bit there, your hips are not working so well. What's going on? Why are my legs not working? Give those legs a little shake with your arms, move them a little bit, and then suddenly they'll wake up, and then you'll be able to flap the wings of this butterfly in the butterfly stretch, and you'll be able to come right back up into stretch number 3, which is the standing pancake. Take a second to shake out your legs if you need it, if your hips are still a little bit tired. In the standing pancake, we're opening up our legs. It doesn't have to be crazy wide. I don't want you to feel any pain in the hips. Again, we're folding at the hips. We're bringing the belly button down towards the ground. Imagine pointing your belly button and facing the floor. From the side, it looks like this. If it looks just like what we did for elephant walk, you are absolutely correct. That is basically the same starting position. When you are folded forward, notice that your toes are pointing in the same direction as your head, and we talked about this for like half a second during the Cossack switches. Then you can get as wide as you'd like, all right? Open up those legs as wide as you'd like. The wider that you open them, the more strength you're gonna need, because your legs are gonna be in a really long position, and these muscles probably are a little bit weaker there, and they're gonna fight to hold you up, to keep you from falling back down, because you don't want to fall down, because the stretch reflex doesn't want you to get hurt. And that's a really complicated and confusing way to say your brain has a built-in reflex that keeps you from getting into scary positions. Scary for your brain, your subconscious, not your conscious. In your head, you're probably going, why can't I get deeper? The parts of your brain you can't control are going, whoa, this is crazy. What is this person doing? This is insane. We got to stop this. And they contract the muscles. That's why we get into this position. We're like, wow, I can't move anymore. And you feel like that muscle is all tight and tense. That is your reflex, contracting the muscle and going, nope, this is not allowed. You can't go any further. We got to stop you right here. Cool? That is basically what flexibility is all about, is doing enough work to make sure your subconscious brain stops fighting against you. All right, let's get back into pancake talk. This is the pancake. Our goal is to fold forward and bring the belly button down as low as we can, fold the body in between the legs, and is really hard. It's a really hard stretch. That's why we do the standing variation, because gravity is pulling our head, our chest, our belly button, everything up here down into the ground and giving us a little bit of assistance. Cool? From here, you got a couple of options. You can fold forward, you can grab your legs, you can just pull and pull yourself down. There's one thing to note, because of where your arms are, if you start pulling, it's going to pull your shoulders down into the ground first. What we care about, as always, is the hips. We're pulling the belly button down. So if your shoulders start rounding like this, that is not what we want. Focus on the belly button. Cool? Other option is you can stick your butt just a little bit back. You can stick your arms out in front of you. This will make it feel even more intense. And you can just hang out here for 30 seconds. Oh, okay, those are your options. I hope you have not been holding this side split position this whole entire time, because that's exhausting. Anyways, 30 seconds, let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Remember, the goal is to bring the belly button down towards the ground. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Put your hands down. Come on out of that stretch. And try your best to come back into standing. If you did that right, it's probably really hard. You're probably crawling around a little bit, and that's okay. That's okay. Come back into standing. Shake out those legs. Relax those muscles. And let's talk about why that sucked so much. We have two main muscle groups that are firing and working real hard in the standing pancake. One is the adductors, the muscles on the inner thighs. Their job is to pull your leg towards the center of your body. So when you do the opposite, when you stretch them out and then you put a whole bunch of weight on top, they are contracting and they're stretched out. That's why they're unhappy. Adductors. The other place where you're probably feeling it is probably just under the butt in the hamstrings. And your hamstrings, they connect into your bones just below the knee and into the bottom of your pelvis. So if you've ever felt your sits bone, that sharp pointy part of your butt when you sit down, that is basically where the hamstrings connect into your hips. So whenever your hips fold forward ever, the bottom of your hips go from like here all the way to up and back here. That is the stretch that you're feeling, the distance from here to there. Cool? Whew. And because we're folded forward and folding really, really far forward, trying to bring the belly button to the ground, those hamstrings were feeling a nice, not so nice stretch. And that's why your legs are super tired. I talked for a whole bunch explaining some anatomy because I wanted you to relax in between our stretches. We're going to move on into the next stretch. It's a little bit more chill, it's a little bit easier, and hopefully your hips are now a little bit more relaxed so you can actually focus on the next stretch. The next stretch that we're going to do is either the pigeon or the figure four. In any case, they look basically like this. We're going to bring the ankle up to just above the knee. We're going to reach down, we're going to pull that knee or pull the ankle. You don't have to do this part yet. We're going to pull that ankle up towards our chest, towards our belly button. We're going to fold the chest down towards that leg so that we're feeling the stretch here in the side of the glute. In the pigeon, we're basically taking that position. We're dropping our hips down and ta-da, boom, pigeon. In the other situation or other opportunity here is going to be on our backs. It's a little bit more chill. You can lay down, but you have to work a little bit harder too at the same time. So there's a price to laying down. You're going to reach forward and pull your knee in to pull the leg towards your chest. If you are a regular, or if you know what the two stretches are and you have a favorite, go ahead and pick whichever you'd like. I am pretty sure we did figure four yesterday, so I'm going to do pigeon. Again, the pigeon is all about bringing the leg across to the other side of the body and trying to hit something that looks vaguely like this. All right, then we're going to fold down. We're going to fold the stretch here in this outer hip, side glute-ish area. So let's do that. Leg is across the body. Our hips are down on the ground. We are folding the midpoint of our chest, so right here in the center, towards kind of the midpoint in between your leg. If you got really long leg bones, I got short leg bones, then it'll be a little bit different, but aim for the center and then you can adjust. Cool? So, looks a little bit like this. Ta-da, that is the pigeon. We got it, no big deal. If you are struggling with bringing the leg back behind you, like so, there's two things for you to know. We don't spend that much time doing anything that looks like this, where you need a lot of hip flexor flexibility. So it's not super important that your leg is extended because most of the time we're just hanging out down here feeling a stretch in our butt. But if you really want to work on bringing that leg back and you want to make the most use of your time, you can elevate that front hip just a little bit. That creates a little bit of space down here and it gives you more room for your legs. Alternatively, if you, I need to move this cushion one more time. If you have something that's at a nice tall height, you can bring that leg across on top of that surface and you can do the stretch with or without this back leg at all. Cool? Whew. Those are your pigeon options. We are getting into it. Let's go. I don't need any of those things. Once again, bring the leg across the body, folding forward, keeping the hips low. We are bringing the chest down afterwards. And if you can, bring the leg back. But it actually doesn't matter. You can just keep the leg here off to the side if you want. Ready? Let's go. 30 seconds. Get into position. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. If it suddenly feels like it's gotten easier and you're not sure why, it could be because your ankle has slipped towards your groin and you got to push that ankle away and push it towards your face. Good luck. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Remember, you're feeling the stretch in that side hip, that side of the butt. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Come on up and out of that stretch. You might also be feeling it in the hamstrings. Spin over, get to the other side, and we're going to do one more round. After this, we got some side splits to do. All right, midpoint of the chest, midpoint of the leg. Keep the hips low, fold forward. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. As you get more comfortable with this stretch, you can experiment with angles. You can sort of lean a little bit further to the left, a little bit less into the right, and see how that changes up the stretch. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, we're almost done, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's the pigeon stretch. We are done with those, and it's time to move on into some side splits. But before we do that, I'm gonna check the chat because I feel like it's been a really long time since I've come back. Saidaz says, my knee. The pancake caused my knee to slide. My kneecap. I'm gonna need some clarification. Your knees slid in the pancake? Why were your knees on the ground to slide? Was it, there's a lot more movement in the knees than you were expecting, and that is what you're talking about? What we're talking about. Okay, scrolling over on TikTok as well. Scrolling. Whew, man, I'm sweating. Sarah says, we got this. I love the encouragement. Thank you, Sarah. Sparky Boom Man says, yeah, it was okay after maybe like 5 reps, and then I almost cramped instead. That is absolutely normal. If when you're first starting out and trying to figure out a new exercise, especially one of these more intense ones, it happens to happen when your muscles are going, wait, what are we trying to do? This is crazy. What's going on? And cramps happen when you're first starting to figure out a exercise. But hypothetically, if you believe all of the marketing hype, it could also be that you need some electrolytes. You need some potassium. Have a banana, some broccoli, maybe. And let's see what else we got in the chat. I think that is most of it, unless I go scrolling really far back. So I'm going to keep going. Let's get into some side splits. The first thing we want to talk about is safety. Because at the end of the day, and as we've been doing, I've been talking a little bit about the stretch reflex, the brain, not letting you do things that you kind of want to do because the brain thinks it's not safe. It doesn't want you to do crazy things, right? This is one of those other places where your subconscious mind has a lot of power over the physical reality. And this sounds like crazy woo-woo stuff, the way I'm saying it. But when you are a little bit scared, you're walking down a dark alleyway and you're like, oh, what's going on over here? Your body is going to be more tense, right? that tension is not going to make you be the best, athlete in the world because you're like stuck in this position. Same thing for if we're getting into the side splits, if we're doing any stretch. If you have a lot of reason to be tense, maybe you got a lot of bottled up emotions. I don't know. Your shoulders are all tense from whatever it is. I don't know. Massage people say, "Oh man, your shoulders are so tense." If you got a lot of tension, it's gonna be really hard to relax into your stretches. That could be you're just afraid that you're gonna fall and hit your butt and it's gonna really hurt. That causes your muscles to get a little bit more tense, a little bit more conservative. You're like, "Oh man, this is scary." Those are all really normal human thoughts, right? I don't use any padding, mostly because I'm traveling and I'm not going to carry padding with me. But if you feel like having a little bit of extra cushioning, having other stuff around is going to help you feel a little safer, help you feel a little more comfortable, help you feel like you can really work your way down into the stretch, then go grab those things. There is absolutely no judgment. I have no idea what you have in your home. And all I care about is that you get as deep as you can, as comfortably and as safe as you can. And it's not going to be very comfortable. So I try my best to make it as comfortable for you emotionally as possible. All right, that's the spiel. Get comfortable, get safe. And one other way to do that is this right here. This is a table. This is a table that if you are really low to the ground and you start falling backwards, and you lose balance, the table's going to be here to catch you. Cool? You can pretend to look cool, but only you will know that you look cool. You know that I look cool when I'm leaning against the table, but that is besides the point. My favorite actually is not the table. I just happen to have a table right behind me. It's the wall. When you have a wall behind you and you stand about 8 to 12 inches in front of it, when you get into that side split position, you're like working on the balance, you're like, scooting around, you're like, shifting your hips around, trying to do something crazy, and you're like, oh no, I'm falling. That sounded really loud and sounded really scary. I'm sure that was not great. My back did not appreciate it either. But instead of following all the way down, having my butt bones smash right into the ground, the little sharp pointy stuff smash right into the ground, my third of my back got to distribute that force. If I had turned a little bit more, maybe my shoulder would have taken the hit, would have been a little bit more comfortable. And that's the goal. You want to have the wall there, have you stay a little bit safer, feel a little bit more comfortable. It's probably unlikely that you'll fall backwards, but in the event that you do, you got a little bit of extra protection. Cool? All right, that was a really, really, really long ramble about safety and feeling secure and not tension. I hope you got something of value out of it, because if not, then that was a waste of time. Let's get into some side splits. Open up the legs decently wide, and we will start with some side splits. This should not hurt your hips, all right? If they do, come up, get out of that position. Fold forward at the hips, put your hands down, and chill. Once your head and your toes are pointed in the same direction, you can open up that leg position once again. And I want you to put a lot of weight into your hands. I want you to almost do a push-up with those arms, because I want you to shift your weight into your hands and remove weight from your legs. We want to remove weight because we want to externally rotate. We want the heels to come down, the toes to go up, and the knees to be pointing up on both sides. Heels down, toes up, knees up. From here, you can walk your hands back towards your butt and get into this really intense stretch like so. Once you are here, this is really intense. You can do a little bit of a wiggle from side to side. Try and see if friction is the only thing holding you from getting into a deeper stretch. And that's it. You're ready. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, walk your hands forward. We're done. Pull your knees in. Try to not have that much pressure on the knee joint when you're pulling the leg in, because that will make your knees ache. So try to put a lot of weight into your hands when you pull your legs in. And oh man, chill, relax. That was side split number 1. Like I said, probably wasn't very comfortable. And I can only try my best to bring some emotional comfort. Take a big breath, exhale, relax, and when you can, come back into standing. What we just did was trigger again the stretch reflex, and we're trying to get deeper into the stretch. So all of our muscles were really tense because the stretch reflex kicked in and was like, whoa, stop, cut that out. That is not okay. What we're going to do now is shake out that tension to the best of our ability and reset to the best of our ability so we can get back into another side split. We got 2 more rounds, so let's do it. What I'm going to try to tell you to do is flick your legs, flick your hands, and do sort of this little shake, this wiggle to get your muscles to relax. What we want you to do is something like you just got out of the pool, and you got to shake off the water off your legs. All right? Shake, 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 flick, flick, flick. And as you get more comfortable with this, I want you to start adding in other stuff. Get fun, get loose. Just add in some movement. Your ankles should be flopping over the place. Your calves gotta be jiggling. Your quads, if you add in something that looks like this, your quads will shake. And this is how we're gonna force our muscles to relax. As you do more of these, your brain will figure out how to do this a little bit more on demand. And I don't know. I don't think it's ever going to look less goofy, but I promise it's super useful as a skill. If you're doing other sorts of training, if you're doing other sorts of lifting, you might know, for example, that if you do a lot of bicep curls, at some point, your bicep will be so tense, your elbow is going to stay bent like this, and you're going to walk around with your hands sort of in front of you, right? And that is just tension. That is that muscle that you've worked really hard, holding on to a lot of tension and not letting go and letting your arm go straight. That is exactly what we're trying to prevent when we shake out the legs right now. We're trying to keep the legs from turning into big bulging bicep things. That doesn't make any sense. We're just trying to relax your legs, all right? Relax. So now that you've heard me talk about muscles and relaxation a lot actually today. I think today might be the most I've talked about relaxation in one episode, in one show. I think hopefully your hips are ready to go for round 2. Let's do it. Stand in front of the thing. That's going to help you feel a little bit safer, reduce some anxiety, reduce some tension, and let's get into side split position. Open up those legs decently wide, doesn't have to be crazy. Fold forward at the hips, put your hands down like you're going to do a little bit of a push-up. Have that weight in your hands so that you can make it easier on yourself when you externally rotate, which is your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up on both sides. Now, from here, you should be able to get a little bit deeper into the stretch immediately. Just wiggle a little bit and see how deep you can get. Then I want you to walk your hands out to your butt, and I guess walking out is not the right expression. Walk your hands in towards your butt and hang out here. Ooh. As the stretch gets more intense, as the pressure gets more intense, I want you to do one last wiggle to see if you can beat the friction holding your feet back. Oh, that's it. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, we're almost done. 2, 1, 0. Oh, walk your hands forward. Oh, bring the knees in. relax. This time around, you probably got a little bit deeper because we were able to warm up with that first stretch, shake out the tension in between, and hopefully set you up for a really solid second stretch. However, your hips might be feeling a little bit more tired now that it's done 2 reps. And we're going to show your hips a little bit of love on this round. Come on back up into standing. We're going to start with the shaking. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Other side. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. And you can add in whatever versions you want. But we're going to work a little bit on the hips now, because they just suffered through 2 rounds, and we want to make sure for the 3rd round they are as fresh as they can be. So what I want you to do is just have a little bit of movement here at the hip. How we're going to do that looks a little bit like this. We're going to put all our weight on our right leg. I'm going to drop that toe down slightly. It's acting as just an anchor point and not to actually support your body weight. We're putting just one big toe down. We're going to shake, point that knee from outside to inside to outside to inside to outside to inside. You can imagine your knee is a fan, maybe. You're just fanning the lucky wall beside you. And we're just getting a little bit of movement here to get the muscles to not be just pointlessly tense. Contract them, relax them, contract them, relax them, and get them to move a little bit. Whew. Same thing on the other side. All your weight on the left leg. Put just your right big toe down. We're going to shake that knee from side to side like we're fanning the wall. Just giving a little bit of movement to the hip so that hopefully these muscles are a little bit more relaxed. And with that, it's time to get into side split number 3. Let's go. Stand in front of the thing. That's going to help you when you start falling backwards. If you start falling backwards, fingers crossed you don't fall backwards. Open up the stance, fold forward, put your hands down. See if you can get deeper into the stretch immediately from here. Have your weight in your hands so that it's easier to externally rotate the legs, which means your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. Then walk your hands back towards your hips, nice and slow. If you do this really fast, this is where you might fall backwards. And chill. Do a little wiggle from side to side so you can get deeper into the stretch. And once you are as deep as you can get for now, let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. I want you to experiment a little bit because we're on our 3rd stretch. If you bend your elbows, you'll suddenly feel a lot more tension in your legs, a lot more body weight in your legs. Give that a try. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. You can add in a wiggle at any time so you can get just a little bit deeper. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Walk your hands forward. Try to pull your legs in. Try not to put too much pressure on the knees when you bring your legs in. And then put a lot of pressure on your knees afterwards when you're kneeling. Chill out here for a second. Relax, breathe. And when you are ready, come back into standing. We're going to shake out the legs one last time. Let's do it. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. If you've been focusing on either the arms or the legs individually, try to do both at the same time. But if you haven't been doing anything with your arms because you've been focusing on relaxing the legs, add in the arms. Do weird things like flop and have them relax. You'll know when they're relaxed because they'll just look loose and jello-y and floppy. All right? Shake out both sides. Your hands are doing a lot of work keeping the body weight from collapsing into your legs and making you suffer a ton. So give them a little love. Shake them out as well. Be a dinosaur with some funny claws. And once your legs are feeling more or less normal, Feel free to experiment with some new fun moves. Let's do a little bit of hip love. If you're ready, we're going to take it up to the next level. We're going to pop into a little bit of a squat like this. You don't have to be super wide or open. You can keep it pretty compact and contained. And we're going to do very similar movement that we just did, except this time it's not on the toe, it's on the ball of the foot. We're going to try to open up that hip as wide as possible. We're going to rotate the hip at that socket in the hip and bring the knee inwards. We're going to try and hit maximum range of motion. Notice how nothing else in the body is moving. It's all coming from this leg at the hip joint. We're going to open up, bring it in, open up, bring it in. If you bring your leg closer to you, it'll be a little bit easier, less weight. And you don't have to do that many. 3, 4, 5, totally fine. Come on over, switch to the other side, pop into a little bit of a squat. Again, all the movement is coming from where the thigh bone connects to the hip. All right, nothing else is moving. In, out, in. Try to go as in as you can, as out as you can. In, out, in, out, in, out. Whew, I have no idea how many we've done, probably like 4 or 5. So that should be enough. I hope you're feeling right after we've done those, that your hips are feeling a little bit looser, a little bit more relief. And, you know, that's the goal. So I hope that's the case. Cool. With that, we're going to do one last thing. We're going to do a little bit of joint checking just to make sure everything is moving well together, and you can go back to whatever else you got to do for the rest of the day. In the joint checks, we start with a big hip circle. Try and really take advantage of a couple of seconds here. Imagine you're hula hooping if you'd like, and feel all of that range of motion for your hips and your legs. Oh. I tend to feel a lot of pressure here on the left side and the right side. So I take some extra time hanging out and leaning from side to side. You might feel it in the hamstrings if you're really taking the hula hooping and the circle really far, and give those muscles a little bit of love. Cool? From there, we are going to lift the knees just a little bit, making sure that your hip flexors are able to contract and do a little bit of work. We're going to fold forward and try to drop down into a squat position. Put some pressure on the knees, put some pressure on the ankles because the knees are forward, and put some pressure on those toesies. We're going to try our best to do a couple of calf raises. Then we're going to come out of that position with a full squat looking thing. Cool? If you were able to do all those things, able to do them pretty well, feeling normal, then your muscles and your limbs and bones and stuff, they're all working well together. So you're good. You're good. You can go do whatever else you got to do today. Cool? All right, with that, we are done. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in, practicing consistency, working on the side splits, and I hope you had fun. I hope you're feeling a lot looser. I hope you're moving a lot better, even though your legs are probably way more tired than before, because this is what we're all about. We're here every single day doing, my goal is to aim for 45 minutes, but I talk too much. We're doing like an hour of live side split stretching every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community. I try to bring good vibes into the internet. I hope you bring good vibes into the chat, and hopefully that combination of consistency, community, good energy makes it a lot more fun for us to keep practicing and make a whole bunch of progress towards our side splits, because that is the goal. Okay, I'm gonna check the chat for serious now. Let's see. Ooh, thank you. It says join my fan club. I don't know how that happens, but sick. Syed on YouTube says, hey, can you tell me what's the exact time you start every day? Yes, absolutely. We start at 9 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what time zone you're in, but you just said it was like 7:40, I think, earlier in the chat, which would be so yeah, it'd be 7 o'clock. Oh, thanks, Ab, for answering. Yeah, it started an hour and 11 minutes ago. So just subtract an hour and 11 minutes from whatever time you're at right now. Cool. And on weekends, I do a second show at 9 a.m. Eastern, which I believe would be 7 p.m. for you. No, wait. Yes, 7 p.m. No, is that right? Am I subtracting or adding time in the wrong direction? 7:30 for oh, is India Standard Time? Sayed, where are you? What time zone are you in? Foxy Roxy will calculate for you. Okay, I'm gonna move on over to the TikTok chat and let's see where you at. Travel with Roxy says, "Woo, this was good, lovely, lovely." I'm gonna scroll, and see what is up. Forever Weird says, "Dang, I didn't know you were so low, right?" I've been doing this like every day for like a year, so I'm glad that you think I'm low. I feel like the progress has been a little bit slow, but I also know that I have tried to start side split stretching many times over the last 10 years. And I usually haven't made it past like 2.5, 3 weeks. This is the first time ever that I've been able to stretch for basically 400 days straight and have that amount of consistency. And, all the progress has also happened in those 400 days. So, yeah, consistency works. I wouldn't tell you that this is the most practical way to get your splits the fastest. There's just no way that it is. But my goal for this workout and for everybody who's joining in is to create consistency, create something that we can do every day. So it just becomes a part of what we do. And then once you got that skill of practicing consistency locked down, then you can go explore whatever it is that you want to explore, right? That's the skill that you actually need to develop other skills, consistency. And that's what I care about the most. So this show happens at 9 p.m. or sorry, 9 a.m., 9 p.m. Eastern every single day for us to practice consistency. And the other bonus thing that I try to add in is good vibes, right? And I encourage you guys to communicate, to talk to each other, to make this whole thing a little bit more fun. So even though we're, focused on consistency, we're having a little bit of fun and having some relationships, whether they're, digital and not real life relationships getting built, something that's bigger than you is happening. And that makes the whole thing a little bit more meaningful, right? So in summary, consistency, community, that's what we're all about. I hope that helps you get a bunch more progress in your side split or in your hip mobility, because hip mobility happens first. Hit follow, hit subscribe, do all those cool things, keep coming back. We do a lot of stretching. A lot of stretching. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll in the chat to see if there's anything else that I have not responded to. And Sparky Boom Man, I read this earlier. I don't know why I'm sitting so far from the camera. I'm reaching really hard. Ow, it's hurting my heels. Sparky. Oh, in the Cossack switches. In the Cossack switches, there's a lot of pressure on your heels. And definitely, I recommend, if you can, getting a little bit of foam, or at least wearing some flip-flops, some shoes, something that will stay attached to your heel so you can put pressure on it. Because when you are putting a lot of side angle pressure on a flip-flop, if it's just attached, in between the toesies, it might slip around when you don't want it to slip, and that is not good. We don't want random flip-flops flopping off to the side, all right? Yeah, flip-flops. Caitlin says, every time I attempt these stretches, it reminds me how much it's needed. I think that's especially the case for the pigeon stretch. Every time I do the pigeon stretch, I go, wow, I really should spend more time in the stretch. It feels like the side glute, the side hip really needs it. And yeah, I think that's one of the really cool parts of doing the live and practicing consistency and throwing, all of the instructions out, trying to make it feel really straightforward, that I can just get into this, no big deal. That's the vibe that I'm trying to send out into the world, right? Like, you can just come in, don't worry, just start, and it's fine. I'll tell you everything that you need to know, because once you start doing the stretches, you almost never regret it, right? You're like, wow, okay, I really needed that. My neck is so much less tense, right? And I'm really lucky that that works out that way. That you start it and you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. That was a good choice. That was a good 15 seconds that I started. And hopefully those 15 seconds lead you to another 15 seconds and then another 30 seconds. And all of a sudden you've been here for 74 minutes and you're like, wow, okay, that might have been a little too much. Let's see. Oh, cool. Syed on YouTube says, yeah, I prefer live too because videos feel boring and not energetic. And Ab agrees with exactly. Good. I'm glad that we can bring good energy into the live and make it a little bit dynamic, right? If you guys comment in the chat, it makes it a lot easier for me to come up with things to say because I want to fill the struggling parts. When we're sitting in the side split position, when we are in the standing pancake, I try to fill it with like quick fun facts, things about the stretch. Maybe this will be a little bit easier, or your knees might be suffering. So do this adjustment so that your brain isn't going 15, 14, 13. I have to do that, right? Because I need to count. But I hope you don't have to do that. And you get to go daydream or stuff as I do the countdown, and you can focus on something else so that all the suffering just feels a little bit more manageable. Cool. Everything Blooms says that was great. My neck almost cramped looking up. Sparky Boom, and my neck almost cramped looking up. I have absolutely no idea when this comment came in, but on the topic of neck cramping almost looking up, one of the things that I tell you throughout the live is try to keep that back relatively straight, right? I'm not a huge stickler. If you have a little bit of a bend, it's okay. But the reason why we don't want you to bend too much is because it tends to be the case that most people are kind of stiff and like certain parts of their back is mobile. And it tends to be the case that it's like just the top couple of joints over here right below the neck that tends to be pretty mobile. And if you're doing a lot and you're trying to bring your head down to the ground, it might not be doing anything for your belly button, which is where the stretching is actually happening, right? It's happening because the hips are rotating and you're putting a lot of pressure into your neck, into your shoulders, into your back for absolutely no reason. So sometimes you just can't help yourself. You're like, what are you talking about? How can I do that without doing this? How do I separate the two movements? Because you just can't figure out how the muscles work differently. If you look up, slightly, then your chest will follow and also go up slightly. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to look at the ceiling. Just look up slightly, and that will help keep your back a little bit straighter. Cool. I can't look at myself and demonstrate at the same time, so I'm just gonna have to believe this actually kind of works. So instead of keeping my head neutral and looking straight into the ground, I'm looking slightly up, kind of 90 degrees forward, and I think that helps to maintain a straight back. Because otherwise, you might want to do this. Like if you're looking down in the ground and you're looking at some point in between your feet, you're more likely to round your shoulders and bend downwards. But if you look up, forward, you're more likely to have your chest follow your head and point that way. It's going to make your neck a little uncomfortable. It's going to keep your neck really tight because it's going to support your whole head for a while. And that might be exhausting. And I assume that's what Sparky Boom Man on TikTok is talking about. But that is a pretty useful tip for trying to keep your back a little bit straighter. So give that a try and see if that helps. If it doesn't help because your head is really heavy and you just can't hold your head up, then, I try my best. Very Magical says, slay, Ken, slay. Thank you. Sparky Boom Man said something magical. I'm scrolling backwards, so if none of this chronologically makes any sense, it's because I'm going up. Sparky Boom Man says, I was passing through, but let me try this. Nice. Thank you for trying it, and clearly you have tried lots of different things and got lots to talk about, so that's awesome. I'm glad you popped in. I'm glad you hung out, and I hope you had enough fun, you learned enough things, you enjoyed the vibe enough that you keep coming back, because we're here every single day. Heather2960 says, that's a good one. I don't know what stretch she's talking about because I'm going in reverse and I have no idea when these came in, but I appreciate it. Okay, I think I've gone back to messages that I have seen already so far. So I think we are just about ready to wrap up for today. Actually, there's 10 more new messages at the bottom of the chat. Hold on, scrolling down. Wicked8662 says, thank you for helping us. Absolutely. That is what I am here for. I think during the thoracic rotation, if I had to guess, oh, okay, this must have been Travel with Roxy is responding to. I have no idea when that message came in. I don't actually remember what message I said that about. So we're just going to have to move on. I hope you guys have fun. I hope you're feeling a little bit more relaxed and feel like you're moving really well, because that is the goal, is to reward you for all the suffering that you put in with a body that feels a little bit better, so that maybe you're incentivized to keep coming back because it's good for you. Cool. All right. A couple of last messages here. Ab says, exactly, crying smiley face. Appreciate the live. Have a good evening. Oh, have a good evening to most of the audience that is in the US. And I think we have a couple of people who aren't in the US on YouTube. Thank you for joining in. I hope you had fun, and I hope to see you tomorrow or the day after that, because I'll be here. Cool. Bye.